All right, and I'm recording. All right, work.
There we go.
Yo, what up, Mike check? Mike check 1212. You are now tuned into another episode of the Smoke 2.0 podcast. And once again, I'm your grateful, gracious, and humble host, Trey Turner. You know what I'm saying? I'm sipping my drink, get my drink on, my smoke on, having a good time. It's a beautiful day. And listen, check this out. You know, on the show, what we do is we highlight hustlers, people who do things out of the norm. You know what I'm saying? And listen, this person that I got today got me through my adolescence, man, and saved a lot
Oh,
of marriages. Saved a lot. I got the lovely and the talented Sarah J in the building. Sarah, say what's up to the people.
hello, hello. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Of course, of course. So, first off, I just want to start off. We ain't gonna get into the typical. How'd you get into the porn? First off, I want to ask you, how are you doing, especially during everything that's going on? Like, where you
Yeah,
at mentally?
I'm good. Like, quarantine was really good for me. Like, I do a lot of my work from home anyway. So it really just like kind of forced me to stay off the road and doing appearances and kind of like focus up on some of the things that I needed to get done here. Like, I have a production company and I manage a team of excellent talent. So I was just able to like kind of tighten up my business and work on some new projects coming out. And yeah, it was really good. Now this whole like protest thing,
Yeah, it's
emotional.
it's crazy out here in these streets. And one thing I always try to express to people is like, it could be hard, but like what I appreciate about people like you is that you got your own business, and now is the perfect time for that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? To start because the whole world is starting over and shit. Like do
yeah.
something cool.
I've been able to like really focus on new projects and things that I hadn't been able to give like a lot of time and effort and energy to that I wanted to.
Yeah, that's facts. And so also, you know what I like to talk about? Body positivity. And I want to ask you, how was it for you coming up as a young girl? And what I also try to do is like, instill confidence in people. So I have people like you, porn stars, who show their body in public. Tell me how you came into your body. How was it? Were you a hypersexual girl? Talk about your childhood a little bit.
Like as like a teenager and like a child, like I wasn't super hypersexual, but I also came from like a moral background that didn't like prohibit me from being hypersexual. Like I was
Yeah.
a little bit nerdy and I was like a little bit of a tomboy, so I hadn't really like discovered myself like, and I didn't lose my virginity until I was like 18. But
Yo, same.
yeah.
I was a late
But
bloomer.
I got married pretty early. Like I got married when I was 19, and my husband actually, I'm divorced now, but my ex-husband, he really instilled like a lot of confidence in my body. Like he made me feel really positive about like the way I looked. Like he liked my body a lot. Like,
Yeah.
and he also believed that other people would like my body, and like he was always telling me that I was like really hot, and that kind of made me feel good.
Yeah.
And he encouraged me to be sexual, and he encouraged me to like really explore my sexuality, and I thank him for that to this day because like I said, I didn't really have any like weird moral hangups or religious background to like stop me from you know discovering my sexuality.
Yeah.
So I didn't really like growing up. Like I was always a little weird and a little different. I got bullied a little bit in high school and stuff. But like as far as like my body goes, like I didn't really have any like strong negative influences until I started porn. And I
Yeah.
started porn, and I was trying to get on with a specific like feature agent so that I could get work at strip clubs across the world.
Right.
And I remember the feature agent told me that I was too fat and that I needed to lose 20 pounds. And I kind of been the same size my whole life, to be honest with you. Like I stopped growing at like 12.
Work.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah.
Sarah, we love you because you're thick. Was that
Yeah.
like not
And,
in
and
at the
like I
time?
felt that. Like I felt that. Like, so when he told me that I needed to lose 20 pounds, I was like, I haven't been that size since third grade. Like literally, I've been like the same exact size, like my whole life. So, and I'm very like comfortable with this size, and other people like me. And I
Yeah.
was already a stripper, and I made money. I made enough money. Like literally, I've been like the same the same exact size, like my whole life. So, and I'm very like comfortable with this size, and other people like me. And I was already a stripper, and I made money. I made enough money to like do well and like to be comfortable stripping. So the proof was kind of like in the pudding. No, people like me like this, and I like me like this. Like I was really comfortable with my curves, you know. Like I like the fact that I'm strong, and I'm like I always say that I'm like sturdy. Like I'm strong and like durable, but I'm also like soft and like feminine too. And I like that. You know, I'm bisexual, and I like that in a woman. Like I like women that are strong but also soft to touch, you know.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. And in terms of like, did you get any enhancements?
I have fake boobs, and I have like a lot of work done to my teeth.
Yeah.
But between the teeth and the boobs, that's really it. Yeah.
Nah, that's fine though. You got the ass though. You good. You good.
Yeah, I had like medium-sized boobs, and I kind of like at the time, like I wanted just like more of an hourglass shape, you know,
Yeah.
like I was probably like medium on the top and like extra large on the bottom, and I kind of wanted to be like extra large everywhere.
Even it out a bit. I feel you.
Yeah.
And what would you tell to like other young girls who feel that they like may have to enhance themselves in order to get to a certain position? Was it that feeling for you or not?
You know, like I got boobs when I was like 20. So it was like a young mindset that I was in, and I'm in a much different place now. Like if I was making that same decision with the mind that I have now, not that I regret it because I don't. The boobs have been great. I have fun with them. They're awesome. They brought me lots of money, and they're fun to play with. But like honestly, I probably would steer clear of like getting a lot of stuff done to my body. Like every time, I don't know, I guess just because I'm older and like the gravity of surgery is like a little bit more intense for me. And we've heard this like numerous times about people going in for like simple procedures and fucking dying.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like not that serious. And not only that, but I think the challenging thing, if you want to challenge yourself, is to just like be happy with what you got.
Right.
You know,
right.
like,
I feel that. So when you got into porn, right? You're known for doing like a lot of interracial, and trust me, the black community loves you. What do you call it? But sometimes it's really more than that. You know what I mean? When especially with everything that's going on, because a lot of times they just see people as see black men as the big black cock or whatever.
Right.
So and I'll tell you, one of my first scenes I saw you with, you were like getting like fucking DP'd by like 2 black prisoners or whatever. which was cool. I was fucking with it. I'm like, fucking Sarah J, hell yeah. But were you conscious of those storylines, like when you started porn?
Totally.
And, like, are you aware of them now?
I hate that shit, and like that's kind of what made me like want to start my own production company, because I love black people. I love multicultural people, to be honest with you. And I think that like the real symbol of like sexiness and love for me in my eyes is to see people overcome their culture and their heritage and like have sex. Like that's hot to me. Like to see like, you know, 2 people who's historically been like fighting for centuries, like when they do it, that's so hot to me. Like that's so hot. So my focus was not so much on like fetishizing race. But I wanted to have a porn company that had people of different ethnicities having sex in like normal, regular situations where they weren't fetishized or stereotypes. Like, so in none of my movies will the guy be like the robber. You know, the guy's never going to be the robber or the thief or like, you know, any of these fucking horrible stereotypes, because like people watch porn and those images and those thoughts like stick in their brain forever. Forever.
And sex is like a major one, because like I'll just give you an example of like when movies first came out. Like there was a movie called Birth of a Nation, and it was basically, that's where the stereotype of black people eating chicken came from. And you think somebody in fucking Utah who never met a black person, that's the ultimate image that they're gonna get, right? And then somebody who never like had sex before, and then they start seeing this shit on camera, then they like, that's their image and their idea of it. So it's quite a responsibility, you know what I'm saying?
I always look at it like that. Like what I do is I plant sexual seed thoughts in people's minds. grow for like ever, you know? So it's important to me to be responsible with that. And yeah, so I try to like create images that I want to grow in people's minds, you know? Like I want to normalize like just people of different ethnicities like having sex in like regular situations.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's for real. And speaking of like, thank you for answering that too, because that'll help a lot of people. Speaking of like owning your own content and shit like that, I always admire like the hustlers, and my thing is create, don't wait. So, what was your inspiration behind, starting your own production company? Because one thing me and Sid talked about was the fact that you were one of the few porn stars who adapted, and you got with the YouTube and all that shit. So, tell us the inspiration behind that.
Like I always like to tell the story like how I got my website, because I'd started doing porn, and right away somebody contacted me, like a photographer, and they were like, "Did you buy your own URL?" And this was so long ago. I was like, "What's a URL?" Like, like
TRL?
Like, what am I going to do with that? Okay, so I get it. It's like a website, but like, what do I do with that? Like, there wasn't a lot of like porn websites out there, and the ones that were out there were not really like pay sites at that time. They were like informational. Like Hustler might have like hustler.com, but it would like give you information about their latest magazine releases or whatever, So It was like a totally different climate. And so like I just bought my URL. And at first, we just put some like about me information on there. It was just like free, and you could go and see a few pictures and like my stats and like bio and stuff like that. And then somebody suggested that I do a pay site, and I was like, okay, that's fine, I guess. Like I wasn't really totally sure like what this was about, because there wasn't a lot of examples, in the world. But I was like, okay, like I'm already doing this. Let's do it all the way, And obviously I was having the resources there. I had like photographers and videographers, people that were willing to like work with me and show me what to do. So it was like, fuck it, let's do it. So then I started seeing like, it's kind of like feeding the beast, like I'd work for all these other companies to get like the traffic and the notoriety, but then like my fans pay for my site. So like I've got this constant check coming in every week, which is awesome. And you can kind of like, you build on that. So like you have a store basically, like you have like something that's yours that you own. And it's kind of cool because I always like being in control of like everything I do, Yeah. So like no matter what happens to like other companies, or, if people don't want to shoot you anymore because now all of a sudden like curvy girls are not in, or like whatever. Like I got my own shit. I'm totally cool anyway. Like I'm getting a check every week. It's fine. And that was like really nice security to have all these years, was to know that like no matter what, I've got a check coming.
Right.
And I was
you don't have
able
to compromise.
To like expand on that. And not only that, but I was also able to create images and thoughts that I wanted. Like I love having sex with black men. And I just like hate the fact that like sometimes they put it out there like all these like shitty images, And I always, even when I was in other people's productions, you can't like kind of like run over them sometimes, but I always try to like switch it up. So there's always like a feeling of like love and admiration, and like maybe even like worship or adornment to like the person that I'm working with, because I don't want to put any kind of like weird, negative, taboo, like vibe out there at all. So I was, the more I created, the more I was like, no, this is totally possible. And I always think of like Naughty America type stuff. Like I always like those kind of scenarios because they're real world scenarios, teachers.
Yeah, doctors, I always wanted to fuck my teacher too. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, like, and not only that, but like, even at the bank and your fucking banker's like hot, or like whatever. Like these are real world situations, and they're not race related, But like maybe my banker is like a very good looking black guy that looks amazing in a suit, So like I was able to start kind of like creating those kind of images that were like not so fetishized.
Right. I feel that. And Sarah, thank you again. And I just have a sex question for you. So the first time I ever did anal, I was in Belgium. It was a bad experience.
Yeah.
Terrible experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
The second time I did it, a girl shat on my dick.
Ah. Yeah.
How do I get over my fear of anal? Because I get a lot of girls
You and
wanting
I
to
are
fuck.
in the same boat here, like, because I don't do anal either. Like I do, like, even on film and stuff, I don't do anal. The scene that you were talking about was double vag. Like, that was 2 dicks in my pussy. Like, I want nothing to do with poop. Like, I have no idea. Like, I don't like poop at all. Like, at all. Like, I was in like a foursome one time, and the other girl was doing anal, and like it got bad, and I was like, I'm out. No, I don't like poop. Like, poop's just not sexy.
Yeah. Nah,
it like kills the party.
It totally kills.
Yeah.
Definitely kills the party. So what I like to do, we're gonna wrap it up pretty soon. What I like to do at the end of my show is like I like to do a speed round. So you're gonna answer these questions like right off the top of your head.
Okay.
All right. But all right, I got you. Booty or titties?
Booty.
Favorite type of alcohol?
Sake.
Favorite quarantine activity?
Probably hookah.
Biggest sexual fantasy?
Ooh. Like, I've done most of my fantasies, but like, I don't know, like, I kind of like trains. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, no, like, I like to please. I get like enjoy from pleasing a lot of people, and so like, but I feel like a gangbang's too much because it's like chaos. But like, if you have sex with one person and like quickie sex, like a lot of quickie sex, it's like a sense of accomplishment over and over again.
Yo, that makes so much sense because I'll fuck anywhere, and that's just how I am. Like,
Yeah.
very quick, in and out. I love it.
Love it. Yeah.
What's the thing bringing you peace during this time?
Cooking.
When I wake up, I
lay around for a while. It takes me a while to get out of bed. Yeah.
Same boat. What are you grateful for?
My friends.
And would you rather have the ugly truth or a beautiful lie?
Ugly truth, always.
Absolutely. I'll fucks with it.
Yeah.
Yo, Sara J, thank you so much again for just stopping by. You are great, and I appreciate how you are conscious of the storylines. And now is your time. I want you to take this chance to promote whatever it is that you need to promote, Instagram, site, all that. Tell people.
Yeah, make sure you check out my official site. It's like over 700 videos. I update it still every week, saraj.com. Also have like Instagram, it's the_real_Sara_J. And Twitter is SarahJXXX. But you can find all this stuff in like one awesome place, sarajlinks.com. If you go there, it's my little link portal, and it has like all my goodies. You can buy stuff, you can look at porn, you can do all that stuff.
Facts. I love it. Sara, yo, thank you again. I appreciate it. All right? Take care.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Absolutely. Hey, and do us a favor one time. Can you make them bounce?
I was afraid they were going to bounce out, but they've stayed in, so that's fun.
Hey, they could bounce out too. I love it. All right, take care, Sara.
Bye.